Oh, shoot. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Dang it. So, hello, welcome to the space between ideas. I'm Blank Gates. Dang. Uh, hmm, what is going on? Well, jeez, I just keep closing windows for no reason. Um, I've been in this little bit of a, what do we call it? What do you call it when you're, like, if you're a baseball player and you just don't feel like throwing the ball? Like maybe you need to see your mommy or something. You know what? My dog's hasn't seen his mom. I don't even think he knows who his mommy is. It's been like a couple weeks where I just I don't know, I just like lost focus, didn't really know what's going on. Anyways, Replit is out of sync. Sometimes Replit has trouble making sure everyone's code is the same. Let us know which version of this file you'd like to keep. What? Oh my goodness. Let me share my screen. So last night, somehow I just like, wing, I just like got back to the game on kind of thing. And I was working on this project till like 4 a.m. Candor, Pakistan. You know the crazy thing about it just so Candor, Pakistan. Oh boy. All right. It's fine. Let's leave it like that. Okay, so we got this thing here and we got this thing here. Look at this, man. 3557. 44. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so that's what happened last night. Where are we? Uh, so one thing is, I started booking lessons. I went on preply.com, and then there's like a bunch of different like types of teachers, and there's one that said computer science, and one that said like app development and website development and this and that. Basically, there's like five different groups of people, and I can show you. All right. For example, this girl, her name is Yalia. And she just sent me a message. She's like, "So thanks so much for booking a trial lesson. So." It's like, no, girl, it's not definitely not at 3:15. I should probably just check the lesson time again. Yeah, exactly. So you go to find tutors, and then yeah, see, you go to computer science. Now you could just if you're on a budget like I am right now, just boom, you just hey, there's a new person. Sirat. Hello, my name is Sirat from Pakistan. Yeah, she seems nice. So then, anyway, so what? I just go to lowest price first. Usually, I pick the ladies. Uh, I don't. I've had a couple of guy tutors, and I don't know. I haven't had the best experience with the guys. So, anyway, so I booked like I don't know 5 or 6 trial lessons. This girl, she didn't reply back to me. I didn't talk to this. Okay, I got a lesson with this girl today. $3 an hour. You see. Uh, I mean, I don't have anything against booking a lesson with a guy. This guy looks like. Where was the guy? This guy looks like maybe we'll check out this guy. Hello and welcome to Preply Profile. I'm an experienced tutor specializing in computer science and web development with expertise in HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Ruby, Rails, and Node.js. Am I doing a Node.js? Yeah, I'm doing a Node.js. I'm here to help you master these essential skills, whether you're a beginner or starting from scratch. Book a trial lesson. Good. So this guy looks pretty cool. And you can listen to the audio if you want. You can listen to their introduction. Perfect. You see? I like that guy. So that's the thing about like my work. It's being a coach and talking to people from all countries. This whole time with this Russia issue, like I had students on the Ukraine side and students on the Russia side, and I've had tutors on the India side and tutors on the Pakistan side, and it's like, what is going on? And it's so interesting to talk to people and realize that you know everybody has their own way of thinking, and it's just like not necessarily. This is what I do with my French tutor. We read together. Which one did we read last time? I think this one's for today. I think this. The last 6 months I've been reading this stuff. So crazy. Une bousculade mortelle en Centrafrique. Un mouvement de foule Bangui provoque de la mort d'au moins 29 personnes. Le président annonce 3 heures de I'll do that later today. Okay, so I'm really not happy about this. I used so much money in the last 2 days. Uh, so what happened with this is, like, I had some serious problems and, uh, brainstorm, step 2. What is this? Should change. Ideate the objective builder test version. That's the only difference? Well, I don't wanna have it say the test version in the title. That's just an HTML. That's just a is there any other changes? Let's pick this one. This is the saved option. District work. Let's just use this one. All right. So what happened is, so I booked these lessons with these ladies, and man, so some of them are okay. Like there's one girl, she came to class and she's like, "Okay, listen, uh, you need to fix your website." I was like, "What? Fix my website? What are you talking about?" Anyways, what she said is like, so she said, when you have a web app like this, you need to have a home page, and uh, then this is the app. So you go to the homepage, it explains like what is going on with your company and your website and stuff like that. And then you click that, and then you go into your web app. I was like, cool. That's exactly what I was looking for. Radical candor. Just need people to just tell me what. It's terrible, man. It's like I actually I like when people are like, "Hey, Blaine, you're such a nice guy. You're such a wonderful person. Your website is great," but it's not very useful. Then the next girl I had was like, she was so intense. She was like, well, maybe I won't make her public profile public. Anyway, she's like the kind of Muslim. She's like totally covering her face, like everything's black, and her hands have all this like, was it called hem or I can't remember Hannah or something. I remember when I was a kid, there was a lot of people from India and Pakistan around my house, like our neighbors in our neighborhood and stuff like that. And she like shares me a link to the Google Meet meeting, and like her camera is like on one pane, and then her microphone is in another one, and her earphones is another one. And I was just like, why do you have so many? Like, if you're a computer science major, what is going on? And I just realized that this girl is like really intense. Like, and then so she's asking me all these questions, like, okay, so how you what kind of database are you? She actually didn't know anything about Replit. She's asking me all these questions about like mogul. I don't remember what it's called. How do you save in your database? How does this work? How's that work? And I was just showing her this and that. And I was like, oh yeah, so I use Docker, and then I use Superbase, and I'm using like a local version of Superbase. She's like, what? You're an idiot. How is it possible that you know all this stuff? And I was like, I don't know. Just AI just tells me what to do. This is a good thing or bad thing. And but she didn't really have anything to add. She was like interested in it. So that was fine that she was interested in my project, but she wasn't like, this is you need to fix this and change that. Like I almost like so out of the two, I kind of preferred the one that actually told me the problems I had. And then I had a third one, and man, she just tore me apart. All right, I'll show you what the third one told me. So, well, what it you could probably I don't know if you noticed. Wow, it's not like anyone's actually paying attention to this stuff. Uh, brainstorm, Aladdin. I don't think I actually need this stuff. What am I even doing? We're gonna do some audio. We're not really gonna do any audio for a while, so I'll just share the window, the live stream window, and then I'll go here. Good. All right, so this is I use this Notion page as the kind of like the place where I keep everything managed. And as you can see that I have this thing called a basic project management app. Now, what I'm doing in the basic project management app right now is I have a current to-do list, and then I have my modules. Now, remember that in my web app, so you can go to my web app, and then you can talk about division, or you can talk about objectives, or you can talk about touch base, or you can talk about brainstorm, or you can talk about choose. So this is coming from the um, the actual like the design, the schema of the whole thing, and like this is the concept of the application. But the thing is that like you don't actually have to have this thing as your thing. You can so it's just the secret of the app is asking the questions. And so and then the output of this is going to be a to-do list. So either you're gonna add something to the to-do list, or you're gonna you're gonna check it off. Like that's the whole it's- that's my app. Hey guys, so I got this app. Basically, it helps you to add stuff here to your to-do list, or like when you do it, then you can just like check it off. Good. Then I realized that I basically right now we have like three different areas. We got the website development, we got the apps, and then we got marketing campaigns. What is that talking about? Came from this doc. So if we go to the project roadmap, when I talk to my coaching students that like they want to start a business, and then I'm like, all right, well, let's start down here. I don't own the product or service. and I don't own the website or the store. It's called an employee. So I'm doing the tasks that someone else gave me, and then the boss does the marketing and gives you the curriculum and the customer. So the curriculum here, I'm explaining it like you're a teacher, but the curriculum just means they give you some process. You have to follow the process that you've been assigned to follow based on like your manager. And now it doesn't necessarily mean that the boss is doing the marketing. You could be in a marketing role, and then the process that you've been assigned is a marketing role. So, but the main point is just like you're not responsible and accountable for all of the marketing in the business unless it's all been assigned to you or it's outsourced. So maybe like the thing is like it doesn't matter which box you're in. All of these boxes uh you could outsource your digital marketing to a digital marketing agency. So let's say that you're an employee and you want to start your own business. How do you begin thinking about starting a business? Well, the thing that you have to start thinking about is like, do you own the product or service? Do you want to own the product or service? Do you want to create a product or service? Do you want to sell somebody else's product or service? Because there's basically three different businesses in this world. Oh, you can't even see that. There are factories. Factories produce products. It doesn't matter if it's a software factory or a farm or a munitions factory. It's like you have some process and it produces a product. That's the main idea. So you have a product. Now, the second kind of business is the other end, the very, very far end. So it's the part where the product and the customer are touching each other. For example, like let's say you got the IKEA. So you got an IKEA factory that produces IKEA furniture. And then on the very, 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 very other end, you have somebody who is setting up the IKEA furniture for you, or fixing the IKEA furniture, or painting the IKEA furniture. So you have these things called services. And that's it. So on the one end, you have the product companies, and then on the other end, you have the service companies. Service companies are just supporting the product market. Like, I mean, there are a couple of different services where the service is the product, but those are the basic distinctions. So if you go into like the WTO, then you'll notice that they have rules about products and services. I like to add one more kind of business. I call it logistics because, for example, like a grocery store, it's logistics. The grocery store is not producing the products. They're taking the products from like 100 different locations and then they're putting it into one market. So it's a logistics company. Yeah, there is a small service component where you have somebody who's picking up the product from the loading dock and then putting it into storage and then taking it from the storage and then putting it on the shelves. And then you get to hire yourself to go in and take the product from the shelf and bring it to the clerk and then take it from the clerk and put it into your car and then from your car and you bring it home. But you know, that's just part of logistics, because if you think about what's happening, it's like they're taking the product from the loading dock, they're putting it on the shelf. That's logistics. So I think that a grocery store is basically a logistics company. A lot of storefronts are logistics companies. They're not actually producing the product and the service that they yeah, so logistics is a type of service, but I like to separate it between services in general, products, factories, production in general, and then logistics, because then it just helps you to think about it a little more clearly. Alright, so where do you work? Are you producing the product, or are you, like, helping some other people who are producing that product? Are you in logistics, or are you providing services for products that people, purchase? Okay, so you have to decide, are you gonna go up or are you gonna go to the left? Now, in my case, I own the product. So when I do my coaching services, I own the service, okay? Now the question is, how do you actually sell that service? Do you own the website or store, or do you have your profile on somebody else's website or store? For example, if we talk about like Amazon FBA, So this is you have businesses that are using the Amazon platform. All right. So I just showed you Preply. That's with so there's all these young ladies that are working. They're all from the ones that I'm talking to that are charging $3 an hour or $4 an hour are from Pakistan and a couple from India, and then or maybe Sri Lanka as well, and maybe Bangladesh. It's the same group of folks that like if you I worked in Saudi Arabia for a year and like their whole country is run like the working class are from Pakistan, India, Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh. That's just the way it works. And then the managing class are the local Saudis. Oh, there's also people from Egypt that float, and sometimes from Jordan that float over there as well. Anyway, so Preply, it's a marketplace. You go on there, and then the teacher owns their product or service. They have a profile, and then they put their profile onto this marketplace. So you can control the product quality. You do not own the customer data. You must follow Amazon rules. Like Udemy, also you can buy courses, but the people own their own course. They put their course on this marketplace. There's a lot of issues because it's like a digital currency. There's more than one Preply platform. And there's a bunch of different competitors, and there's nothing stopping your competitors from signing up. There's a lot of competition, so there's a lot of price pressure. But at the same time, because it's a platform, they do the marketing. They get depending on the platform, there's a lot of traffic. So you have to focus on improving your profile. Now, one thing that I like to point out is that if you have a service, you're basically getting charged per hour. And sometimes I have tutors, like my French tutor, she's like, "Yeah, I want to get you, will you pay me more money?" It's like, $1 an hour more is not gonna help, it's not gonna change your life. In fact, if you let's say you're charging $20 an hour, I don't see a difference between $20 an hour and $50 an hour. In either case, you're once you stop working, then you're not getting any money. And also, like, it doesn't radically change your life. Like, maybe you can get a slightly more shiny car, you can get a slightly more shiny house, you can take off a few more days a year, but there's not a big difference between $20 an hour and $50 an hour. But then if you charge for $50, $20 per unit, all right? Now you focus on creating some really awesome product, and then you have some kind of marketing campaign, and then now you're getting paid per unit. That is like, that's scalable. Hours are not scalable. All right, so I'm talking to my these kids about like, okay, so are you gonna when you start your own business, are you gonna create your own product or service? Now, if we go on the other direction, so if we go to drop shipping, so drop shipping, it's basically a marketing play. Product, service, knowledge, difficult to control the quality and shipping of the product. So imagine you're ordering some products from China, and then you're selling those products to your potential customers. Now you're saying, well, you don't own the product. I mean, some people what they do is they have to buy the product from China and then they put it on their website. So this is like a grocery store. Now the question is, does the grocery store own those products? Did they buy the product and then they're reselling the product? Maybe. But that's not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is that like you're not the factory. So if you're not the factory, you can't control product quality. Like I can choose this factory or that factory, but you're not actually like you can't change the process of the production of the product. And also, the factory could just decide not to ship you the products. So it's not like you don't own the factory. You see, I don't own the product or service. I don't own the production capacity. But you do own the customer data, so you're the one who you have the storefront, you have the website, you have the customer relationship. You have to do your own marketing. You may be doing affiliate links. I don't know. So logistics service, reseller, platform, e-commerce, Amazon is a platform. What is this? So over here, so this company called Amazon, I'm talking about the platform Amazon. It's a drop shipping play. So they're a grocery store. They're a platform. They can't actually control the quality and the shipping of their product. Now, I mean, because of modern shipping practices and because of this this platform has been available for a very long time. The quality is great. You have a lot of great stores, and then you have a lot of stores that are shipping their products reliably. So, but Amazon doesn't actually control the quality and shipping of their products, but they have some, rules and things like that in order to hopefully manage or influence this issue. So the first question that you want to ask this employee who wants to start their own business, okay, so do you want to create a product and service? Do you want to be in control of the production of that product and service, or do you want somebody to create a marketing play to sell somebody else's product or service? Which one are you going to do first? And then eventually you get to this top corner. So this one is like I own the website and the store, and I also own the product or service. And then we're talking about cost of goods sold. So how much did it cost you to make the good which were sold, and the margin? What the margin is what remains. The inputs of production is called overhead, raw materials, labor, machines, building power. So that's here, right? You're producing the product or service. Also, you control the place of sale. So that's the website or the store. And then you have to also control the marketing. You make your own rules, you own the customers and can upsell, you manage the platform. It's all you. So once you get into this, so when I talk to like young people who are working for a different company, I tell them like if you can't do all of them at the same time, which one are you going to start with? Are you going to start by building a product first, or are you going to start by creating a website and then learning how to do marketing first? So I chose to create the product first. So now the product is like launched to it's like the soft launch. We did the soft launch already. It's here. So here's my product. And now of course we gotta improve the product, but I have a product. Okay, so now I need to create the website where the product is going to be housed, and then I got to start doing some marketing and sales funnel activity. So that's what this thing is here. Is we got the website development. So the website development is this thing, the brick and mortar store office, the website, the point of sale. So the first one is the point of sale. We could call this the point of sale. Point du sale. I don't know how to say sale. I can't sale. Point of sale. Right. And then the apps. Okay, so these are the products. And then marketing campaigns. There you go. So I just went back into my philosophies, my own philosophies that I use, and we haven't actually started doing much research about competitors yet. Now you can open this up, and for example, so I'm talking to the girl on the second day. I talked to two girls who were basically telling me that my I needed to make some improvements. So one girl, she's like, "Okay, your homepage. You don't have a homepage, and the homepage needs to have an introduction of your company. Also, you need to have some login because people want to make sure their information is secure." Now, it's interesting because the whole point here is that my this website, this app, the free version of my app, you're not actually. I don't have access to your data. In this current version, your browser is what's saving the data. I don't have any access to that information. So, like, let's say that we go into the what is it? The database deployment console. I don't know what it is actually. Console maybe? No, it's not the console. Logs. Where do I put where's the logs? I saw these logs yesterday. I don't see it right now. Maybe it's in deployment. Yeah, it's probably in deployment. There it is. All right, so we go into logs. I don't know if it's gonna work. Anyway, so we go to logs, and then when I click the brainstorming button, then it should have something in the log, right? So we can just save this text. I click next up. Yesterday I was like, so the previous button doesn't actually save the text. So that's what I was doing all like for the 5 hours yesterday. Was trying to figure out if I click the previous button, then I come back to this page, will it save? So now it saves. That took like 5 hours to fix that. But it wasn't just 5 hours to see. There you go. Look, so we got some stuff here. We got these logs. What time is it? No idea what this stuff is. What's going on? All right, so that's what I got the information from the first girl or from the second girl. She's well, the first girl also actually the first girl, she actually created a home screen, like an image. And she's like, look at this is called a home screen. And these are the different aspects of the home screen. And then there should be a button, and then that button launches your app. And I was like, ah, good. The second girl said that, and also she's like, you need some login because people need to make sure their information is secure. Okay, no problem. And then on my own, I came up with, okay, actually, we need a homepage. Yes. We also need a pricing page. We need a blog page, and then we need a lead magnet page. So I came up with those. She also said it's difficult to understand the first question. So, like, where's my app? Let's put this at the end. All right. Like, so if we go to the homepage, I know I need to make some improvements here because it's not actually clear. Like, what do you mean headlight strategy? A strategic tool designed to solve communication and align gaps within teams. Direction. When your team's destination is unclear, use our guided brainstorming and decision-making process to find clarity. What do you mean the destination's unclear? All right. So for example, right now, so you're trying to improve, you're trying to create some kind of website for your app, and then you need a pricing page and like what other pages do you need? So let's start the brainstorming process because like okay, so then we go into the brainstorming process. Question number one. How are competitors, industry leaders, or even other successful entities in different fields doing it? What trends are emerging that could be relevant? See, that's a good idea. So the first thing you do is think about competitors, consider looking beyond your immediate industry. So now I'm going to look at a bunch of websites. I'm going to see like, okay, so are there other websites that are selling processes for brainstorming to help people to think about what they need to be, what objectives they need to be pursuing, and does that exist? Right? And she's like, it's difficult to understand the first question because you're a student. You're still in university, and but also I need to make so that's the point is that like of course I understand it. I've been working on this for 10 years. If she doesn't understand it, then the question is, okay, so how do we improve the user experience so that like so she can understand it? Because if she can't understand it, it means that there's a group of people who don't understand. And then if there's a group of people who don't understand who are within my target customer range, then I got a problem. All right. So then if she can understand it, then likely people within my target market will also understand. So I'm looking for this overlap, right? I'm looking for like, okay, so there's a group of people who can't understand what you're really supposed to do or what that first question means. And then we have my target market. Is there an overlap? So does improving it for these college students because so I have this other student. He's from India. I was talking to him last night, and you know, I think his family's quite well off, and he was traveling to Malaysia and Australia and surfing and hanging out, and he's studying robotics. And sometimes I talk to him, I just think he doesn't understand anything. But then I talk to him about other stuff, and it's like, wow, he has a really deep knowledge in some types of philosophy and some issues about history. And you can tell that he's from a family who like discusses a lot of important things. So he's involved in discussions. But then, like when I'm trying to get him to like understand some specific thing, like we were talking about Fogg's motivation model, and we were talking about the Buckles drive model, and it was like it took him a while to kinda catch on, and then he's like, "So what does your app do?" So I showed him my app, and the thing is, like, it's the same experience you have, like, if you're reading the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, like, unless you really have a specific project that you're working on, it doesn't necessarily make sense to you. But then when you are in a business and you're doing some specific types of work, and then you're like, "Oh, yeah, that's really helpful. That helps me think about the issue that I'm facing." And then marketing campaigns. I don't think we did anything with marketing campaigns. Alright, good. So what happened from these 2 meetings with these young ladies was I was able to add some things to my current to-do list. Now, I got this Kanban task list. I call it top 3. Okay. So then I just went into, okay, homepage. That was definitely a top priority. Pricing page is a top priority. And then pro version app is a top priority. And then make posts is a top priority. These are the 3 things that I need to get done. So I just decided to start with the homepage, debugging the save button. That's what I was doing last night for 5 hours. Ding, ding. Oh, wow. Okay. Now what am I gonna do once I have this big long list? It's gonna be like a super, super long list of dones. I guess I'll just anyways. What's the next thing I'm gonna do? So I'm gonna have a lesson with another lady today. I got 2 trial lessons today with computer science teachers. Um, I need to make a homepage and a pricing page. I also need to keep working on my pro version of the app. Let's talk about pro version of the app for now. So the thing is about the pro version of the app is I'm currently using did I do something in Trello? I also cleaned up Trello a little bit. So we have look, we have the free tier page, we have the paid tier page, we got the paid tier Teams app, and then we got the pricing page, the homepage, the blog page. And then on this one, we got the systems for selecting campaigns, systems for creating creatives, we got systems for measuring performance, and then we got the lead magnet email campaign. Okay, this one's called marketing and sales funnel, and this one is called product and company website. So what I did was I put the product and company website, I put it into one Trello board, and then I took the marketing sales and put it in another Trello board. So, and I just kind of like this is the marketing sales. So I'm going to need a system for selecting campaigns. So I have to make it some decisions about how to create social media and advertising campaigns. And then I'll have to create the actual creatives. And probably the most important one is going to be the blog articles right now because that's going to improve the SEO on my website. And then also it'll give people something to read. So when they click on something or see something in social media, then they get to my website, then they can click the blog, and then there's some things for them to read. So that's, I think, the first step. And then over here, okay, when we talk about so we got the free tier page, we got the paid tier page, we got the paid tier teams. So I'm working on these 2 right now. And then on the website, the company website, I need to do the pricing planning page, the homepage, blog page. So this, as you can see, I did this first, and then later I took that concept and then I built this other Kanban chart and this other to-do list based on organizing my thoughts over there. So I did a lot of thought organization. Now, let's talk about the documents, the calibration documents. Now, if we go to calibration document history, we have the product requirements doc, the objective builder MVP. I use this as a one prompt and it created my application. Unfortunately, when I went into when I went into um, Replit, I had a lot of problems trying to change that like button on the like to make sure that the save button would work. And I had to you see this thing here? Based on the agents, did you see any? Okay. Well, we'd have to actually go into the previous chat to understand. Yeah, see, that said I had some problems with the autosave button. So, like, at least 2 times, maybe even 3 times, I had to roll it back. So I had to find a checkpoint. Yeah, this is what that remember that one girl I was telling you that she had her face covered and she was, like, connecting with, like, 3 different things on Google. She asked if I need to use Monogo database. No, you don't need to connect to Mongo database. She was like, "What? What?" It was blowing her mind. So I had to roll back quite a few times. I was having some serious issues. So we could go to the top. This was my first. Um, I used the product requirements doc with this AI instance in Gemini, and I think I'm getting close to the tokens limits. Okay, here. So this is the first. This is the first prompt. I put in the old products requirement document, and we just, we worked and worked and worked and worked. And I don't really remember exactly what we did. Yeah, so this is the debugging with the problem with, like, saving. Can you understand what's happening here? I rolled back some changes. Talking about rolling back some changes. I'm trying to fix this thing. I started going crazy, man, because like I didn't know how to solve this problem. Saved. And finally I realized I needed to think about creating a new AI instance. And then to create the new AI instance, I needed like some additional product requirements docs. I did a lot of things. I don't even know where I'm going with this. This is what happens when you fall asleep at 4 a.m. Anyways, so I worked on this debugging for a really long time, showing like using the console to show like I'm not gonna show it. To show the what was happening in the console and trying to figure out what's going on with this website. What I realized is that you really have to spend some time to tune your AI instance with Replit and to do some communication between the assistant and the agent, and then show the difference between the replies that you get from the assistant and the replies that you get from the agent. And you have to really like design how is it that you are going to work with the assistant and how are you going to work with the agent, and what are they good at and what are they not good at. And then you have to save all that information within your calibration documents so that over time you'll be able to get things done and with spending less and less money. Now, I feel like then we did some updating with these calibration documents. All right, now most importantly, so in the past I was using an architect document and a liaison. So I would create two different AI instances, and then I would use both of them, and then I would calibrate both of them with the calibration docs, and then I would just go back and forth these two instances. I have a new model for this idea based on my work here. So what I did in this case was I had one AI instance. I told it you are the architect, and then I just kept prompting it and helping it to understand more about like what I wanted to do, how I wanted to act, and then to create these calibration documents to make sure it understood. All right, here's the operations manual and decision log. So, for example, this document codifies the roles, workflow, development protocols, the decision-making history for the objectives builder project. It ensures clarity, continuity with the calibration between the project lead, human, the AI software architect, Gemini, and the operational guide for the Phoenix protocol. It calls it I don't know why it calls it the Phoenix protocol. Just decided. So we got the responsibilities with the human, define the high level product vision, strategic goals, go to subject feedback on user experience, gives the go no go approval on plans and features, manages the replit environment, the Phoenix protocol refresh cycle. The AI software, so Gemini is translates vision into technical specifications and action plans, maintains three core documents, creates precise verified prompts to direct the replit tools, provides technical analysis and debug diagnosis, replit assistant, a conversational tool for high fidelity tasks where precision is crucial, usage best for generating specific isolated code blocks, analyzing existing code, and performing platform discovery as its conventional nature allows for immediate clarification and review. A tool for direct code implication, large scale refactoring. Warning: the agent's file modifications have proven unreliable. This work must be treated with caution and always verified. It is best suited for large scale repetitive tasks where a single human verified pattern is to be applied globally. There you go. So this is from its experience. This is the way it's going to define these roles. So I'm not using liaison and architect anymore. I'm using one AI software architect. But now you can see above here that I have two windows open. So why do you have two windows open if you're now only using one architect? We get the Phoenix protocol, initiate project lead. Okay. The architect's development protocol, instruction compliance, AI guiding planning before coding, complete verification, implementation, code quality and maintainability, AI assisted testing and error handling, automated code optimization, context awareness explanation, step-by-step workflow, task definition, planning, and pseudocode code generation, validation, testing, and debugging, final review and optimization, key decisions log. Then it goes into some decisions that we made. Boom. So that's the first document. Second document is the product requirements document. So this is the defines the product vision, features, targets, user experience for the objective, the what and the why. The core philosophy is the headlight steering wheel, foundation analogy is the line of scrimmage, the fish, ocean, huddle, play. Yeah, this is like, I don't know if it's that useful. Explains the user experience flow, the module specifications. Now, these aren't actually the exact questions that are used in the app right now. So I don't know if we should update this, but it gives the general idea for what those modules are for. Then we got the team operations module, the Phoenix protocol. It's back in the operational manual decisions log. Okay, we already looked at that one. Key decisions to date, future roadmap, expand the homepage, multi-tiered product offering, content inbound marketing. Okay, there's not that much actually. I thought there would be more. Now we have the systems logic and architectural documentation. So okay, so we have the technical architecture, the data flow programming conventions, and component breakdown for the objective builder application. So we've got the high level architecture, we got the file manifest, we got the data model, core component breakdown, event handling and navigation patterns. We got naming conventions and element IDs, platform specific best practices for Replit, known platform risks and mitigation strategies, one-click attribute race condition with this. Okay, so there you go. Now, I also asked it like, so is that everything we need? Based on just that, can I create a new AI? And it was like, yes, but it said do that, but also, yes, I can confirm that the most important questions for ensuring the success of our Phoenix protocol. Then it said, "You need to do some first day tasks." So I said, "Is there anything that needs to be bridge the gap between the document and my full current capabilities?" So it's like, yeah, the next AI instance will have 90% of the current context, but to get the 5% muscle memory, so do the task one, do a code to code cross validation, and then populate the full file manifest, and then begin the strategy planning, and then boom. So there you go. So I still continue to use this old one. Now I created a new one and I did some overlap. So after I did once I uploaded all of the new calibration documents, then I was actually cutting and pasting the same the same thing on both. So on the old architect and also the new architect. So I realized the best thing to do is not to have like an architect and a liaison, but have the old architect as it starts to get a little bit older and it starts to like slow down, then start using both screens at the same time. And then at some point, what happens is like this one will be like really great. And once it's really, really great and it's doing everything perfectly, I don't have any questions. See, I'm using both at the same time and then I'm communicating between the two. And then at some point, I'm gonna close this one and then I'll just use one. And then after a while, when I feel like, okay, so maybe it's time to think about creating a new one. So then I'll just like do another, like a little bit of an overlap. So that's where we are right now. You've seen my calibration documents, you saw my Kanban task list, you've seen my new project management app. So that's everything over here. I showed you how I use Trello to help me to think, and then you can see how I put it back into my Notion page. You can see how I've been working on this within here and how I used the Google Gemini to improve my experience. And you can see what I've been working on. So now if you want to see my rules, if you check the chat section, then you'll notice that I added my rules that I use in Cursor. So you can check with that uh, and test it with your own. Anyways, I got to run. I got a lesson. So I got to go. Thanks for joining here, and we'll see you next time.